The real reason you cannot focus. If you feel like your attention span is getting worse, you're not imagining that. Many people today struggle to focus for even just a few minutes. You sit down to work, you open your laptop or whatever at work, and suddenly you're checking your phone. Then another tab, then something else. Within minutes, your attention is completely gone. Most people assume that this means that there is something wrong with them. Well, they believe that they lack discipline. They think they're lazy. But the reason is most people can't focus today is something almost nobody talks about. And once you see it, you'll start noticing it everywhere. Think about how often your attention gets interrupted in just a regular, normal day. Notifications, messages, emails, social media, short videos, TikTok, scrolling, the news or the fake news. Every few minutes, something pulls your attention in a different direction. Your brain jumps from stimulus to stimulus all day long. Marketing agencies focus on this. They believe your attention is worth something, more than you actually know. So when you try to sit down and actually focus on something important, let's say a book or meditation, or just having an actual conversation that actually has depth, instead of, how are you doing today? Fine. Good talk. All right. Studying, working on a project. Your mind refuses to settle and focus. It feels like your brain is constantly restless, like your attention keeps just slipping away. You can see it kind of, it's almost there. You just can't reach it, can't focus. That experience can be incredibly frustrating. I know. Personal experience. Here's the strange part. Your brain is not malfunctioning. In fact, it's doing exactly what it was designed to do. The real problem isn't your brain. It's the environment your brain is operating in. For most of human history, attention needs to move quickly. Imagine early humans living unpredictable environments, right? Their survival depends on noticing changes, slight changes. The leaves aren't supposed to rustle that way because the wind's blowing the other. Movement in the distance, unusual sounds, shifts in the weather patterns. Attention had to scan constantly for new information. The brain developed a system that automatically reacts to novelties. Anything new or unexpected captures attention. The ability, or that specific ability, helped humans survive for thousands of years. But in the modern world, that same system is being triggered constantly. Overstimulation, stolen focus. Here's where stuff gets interesting. The reason you cannot focus today isn't because of a lack of discipline. It's that your attention has been trained to scatter. And most people don't realize their environment is training their brain every single day. All day long. Look at how modern technology is designed. Yeah? Social media feeds refresh endlessly. Videos autoplay, notifications appear constantly. Every time something new appears, your brain receives a small burst of stimulation. You have to check the phone. The notification came through. That stimulation releases dopamine. You think that notification is like, somebody important receiving something important, like life-changing, when it's not, and you know that. Not to the extreme dopamine people often just talk about, right? But enough to reinforce the behavior. Your brain begins to expect that novelty. New information, new stimulation. Over time, this conditions the mind to jump constantly from one thing to the next. Which means when you try to focus on something slow or quiet, your brain becomes restless. It expects more stimulation. You are in the fight or flight mode, always looking for something. This leads to a strange situation. People today have access to more knowledge than any generation in history. Yet their ability to concentrate is getting weaker. Not because they lack intelligence, not because they lack motivation, but their attention has been trained in the opposite direction. Buy my stuff. Look at me, look at me. The brain learns through repetition. Whenever your practice becomes easier, if you practice distraction all day long, your brain becomes excellent at distraction. You're training it. But the opposite is also true. If you practice focus, your brain becomes better at focus. Yeah? Which leads to something most people never hear. Focus is not a personality trait. It is a trained ability. Attention works very much like a muscle. If it is never trained, it gets weaker. If it is trained consistently, it becomes stronger. Also, it's about the Olympics. You cannot be an Olympic athlete without training constantly for years and continue that, right? I worked out all kinds when I was in high school. Well, now that I'm 50, all that stuff went away. I've been training myself the opposite way. So consistent training all the time. Not, I know how to do it because I did it 20 years ago. If you're that old. Anyway. The most effective training method humans have discovered is something surprisingly simple in regards to your mind. Stillness, meditation. When you sit quietly and focus on something simple, like your breathing as a focus, you begin retraining your attention. You're restraining your mind and you're focusing your attention. Go back and see the monkey mind video. At first, your mind wanders constantly, and that is normal, and it will still wander even when you get good and well into the meditations. Each time you bring your attention back, you strengthen that neural circuit responsible for focus. Well, there's more than one, but over time, the mind becomes more steady, less reactive, more capable of sustained concentration. Most people spend their entire lives reacting to whatever captures their attention. notifications, distractions, mental impulses, sexual fantasies, whatever. But when you train your attention intentionally, something changes. You begin directing your focus instead of losing it. That is the difference between drifting through life and becoming the operator of your own mind. If you want to begin to strengthen your attention and rebuilding your focus, start the meditations at CHODMATRIX.com/meditations. Train the body. Train the mind. Build the body. Design your life.